Welcome to the Funny Carpenter. Today we've got an exciting look at how the average handy person, man or woman, could take their textured ceiling and sand it down and get a nice smooth flat ceiling. Now for part one, you're going to have to head on over to the drywall guru himself, the Vancouver Carpenter. I'll put a link in the description, as well as probably a pinned comment, so it'll be easy to find your way over there. So picking up where we left off in part one, the next step in the process is sanding down all the drywall patches that we've done, and then a coat of primer. I'll check over the ceiling one more time and patch any little defects that might be in there. Then I'll give those a quick sand, and then probably 2 coats of paint, and then this room's finished. So for the ceiling sanding, I really have no experience doing that. So Vancouver Carpenter was nice enough to give me a little tutorial before he left. So I'll roll that footage now.
Okay, so quick sanding 101. All right, Ryan has got this sanding pad, which is actually pretty good because it's got a spongy bit on here. So it's a little bit soft, but it's also firm enough that it's going to not dig in. But yeah, it's going to do a nice job anyways. But he's got 120 on here, which is probably going to scratch this stuff pretty bad. But I got a quick little tip for you. So I got a putty knife here. So just pass that over it a few times. And that's feeling a lot more acceptable. I'm especially going to do it on the edge. So I'm only doing this just to ensure that this is going to sand these ceilings real nicely and not leave big scratches in the mud. So now I'm going to take this, and what I want him to do is just go across the whole ceiling, especially the mud, and it's just going to be real quick, slow passes. That doesn't make sense. Real quick, slow passes. Anyways. I'm just going to pass over it to sort of level everything off. Is this dry enough to sand? Yes. So going over it with the pole sander. Yeah, it's a bit scratchy. We're making sure to not go sideways or it'll flip, and not go totally straight or it'll leave lines and scratches in the mud. So just a little bit of an angle like this. And once that's all been gone over, then you take a sanding sponge and you go to the edge and you just really gently take the edge down so that you can't see it. And you might need to do one more pass like this. Yes, I'm not wearing a mask, but I'm gonna go into my van, drive home, and cough it all up. Anyways.
Protein.
That is a little protein, yeah, totally. It's calcium, a little bit of calcium.
Keeps the bones strong.
Yeah, for the bones.
For skateboarding.
Through the lungs. Maybe that's why I'm doing well. I've consumed so much of this.
It's your secret.
Yeah, I mean,
secret sauce.
I wear masks, but you know, it's hard to talk at you guys and wear a mask. Anyways, yeah, that's good. So now I can't see any more raised edge and it feathers into it. So that's what we're gonna do to make everything look nice and smooth here. So good luck on the big patch. Shine a light directly across it so you can see if you're making any scratches, because the last thing you want to do is sand the whole thing without enough light. Come and shine a light on it and realize that you ruined the work. So if you have a good light glancing across the ceiling, then you're going to know that you've done a good enough job. And you're also going to know that if the sandpaper is either too aggressive or your pad is leaving big scratches, then you can just skip the pole sander and go right to this. But that's a workout, so I definitely recommend the pole sander. It covers a lot of area faster. So at the risk of not saying too much more, making this too long. No, I said it backwards. What I mean is, I'm going to stop talking to not make this too long.
Before we get sanding, I'll take you on a little tour of all the patches that we did. Some of the worst areas were just right along the corner bead because you get that little hollow spot. So we filled in a couple of those, and then there was a few spots here and there along the wall that needed a little touching up. Let's get this disco party started. Now there's no reason that sanding the ceiling shouldn't be a great time. So one early comment about sanding out the ceiling, not the greatest. But at least I'm not going to have to worry about vacuuming up the dust because most of it is collecting in my eyes. Yeah, if you're watching the montage and you're a drywaller, please make fun of me in the comments. This is what happens when a carpenter tries to do drywall. It's taking quite a long time to get the sanding done. As you can see, I've aged about 30 years in the process. One little quick note, little tip that I'll point out right away is do not, Vancouver Carpenter mentioned this, do not get this thing going parallel. I was doing that along the edge, and then I looked and I had a huge sanding ridge in the mud, so I feathered that out. But yeah, keep the sanding sponge on a bit of an angle too. You want to avoid getting train tracks. Yeah, so I'm all done the sanding now. It was tedious, it was hard. It took me about 45 minutes. I did a lot of it with the sponge. I'm not very good with the pole. I kind of roughed it out with the pole a bit, and then I just got in there with the sponge, kind of held the treble light in one hand and got it on a nice angle so I could see what I was doing. Feathered out all the edges, got out all the little scratches. I mean, I'm pretty happy. I think it's going to be looking pretty good. So the next step will be to get a coat of primer on it. So the ceiling's ready for primer now. I don't bother wiping it down because you probably just end up scratching the patches, and it's not really necessary. I'm going to put a coat of primer. I'll give that a light sand, and then I'll probably even sand in between the two final coats. So yeah, any dust that's on there, I mean, if there was any sections with a lot of dust, you could blow it off, but don't even worry about it. Just paint right over the dust and then give that a sand afterwards. Otherwise, like if you were to take a broom or even a rag, you're gonna end up getting scratches in the patches because they're very sensitive, I guess would be the word. They're very scratchy. So I'm just gonna do one coat of this primer that I have kicking around. You could probably go straight to like a specialized ceiling paint or even just the wall paint that I'm going to use without the primer. But the one extra coat of primer will help just kind of level it out a little bit, and it'll allow me to maybe do a little bit more patching before I go to the paint. So we're back the next day. The primer's had a chance to dry. The ceiling's actually looking amazing. Huge shout out to Vancouver Carpenter for his awesome drywall skills. We're gonna give it a quick pole sand with some 150 grit sandpaper. Touch up the edges with the sanding sponge, and then close your eyes, drywallers. I'm gonna use a little bit of Drydex and a 2-inch putty knife just to hit a couple of nicks and a couple of areas that need a little touching up. There's like 2 or 3 areas. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we will get putting the final coats of paint on. So for painting the ceiling, I'm probably going to end up doing 2 coats of a wall paint that I used for the office next door. It's an eggshell, which might be a little glossier than I'd like, but I have it left over, so I'll go ahead and use that up. Pro tip with the paint, especially if you just have some partial cans that you know you're probably going to need to get a job done, go ahead and mix them together before you start painting, because if you have to switch cans in the middle of a section, you're probably going to end up with some kind of a weird discoloration. Even though they mix them the same, they're not always exactly the same. So you're best off to just mix the paint together before you start painting. Finished. 1 coat of primer, 2 coats of paint, and it looks amazing. Like Vancouver Carpenter was saying, you may not want to do this sanding down process and not skim coat the whole thing in kind of like a main level daylight situation. But down here it looks great. If I had to pick one thing apart, the paint that I used down here was an eggshell wall paint. If I had to do it again, I would probably get like a ceiling paint, a dead flat ceiling paint that was tinted this color. I like the color. You can see it's not so much the drywall work as it is just like bad rollering. Especially on the first coat of primer there, I got a little careless with how I was rolling it on. And a few spots, especially right along this spot right here, I rolled into drying primer and it got pretty ugly right here. I sanded most of that out, and I mean, it looks good, but it's definitely a good process. Like if you wanted to do this in a bedroom or a basement, it's pretty easy for the average person to do. You just need to sand it down, touch up the drywall, and then yeah, coat a primer, and then I would use dead flat ceiling paint. Eggshell is not the smartest move. And as far as order of operations, I kind of messed that up a little bit too. You definitely would have wanted to do this ceiling repair before I did the final coat of paint on the walls. So now what I'm going to have to do is I ended up dapping along this crack here just to kind of cover in the drywall mess a little bit. So when I cut the ceiling in, I cut down a little bit onto the dap. And now I'll go around one more time and just cut that wall in again. That's kind of the last thing to do. And then the room is done. There's always little things. One thing to mention about this whole process as well is it's an easy process to do on a textured ceiling that hasn't been painted. And you want to make sure that that textured ceiling was put on after, I think, 1991. And that way you can know that it's asbestos free. If you have any doubt, get the ceiling tested. Asbestos is something you don't want to mess around with. All right, let's wrap this odyssey up. Thanks so much for watching. Huge thanks to Vancouver Carpenter, and we'll see you on the next video.